I'm Glenn Harper. For 22 years, I worked inside an industry built on the things companies don't tell you. I thought nothing could surprise me anymore. Then I checked my Alexa. It had been recording my family's private conversations. Nobody said the wake word. Nobody asked it to listen. It recorded anyway, and it saved every clip to a server I don't own, in a building I will never see. Here's the part that should stop you cold. Amazon has admitted, in writing, that its own employees listen to those recordings. Right now, on the device sitting in your kitchen or your bedroom, there is a list. A complete history of everything your Echo has captured. Your voice, your kids, conversations you don't even remember having near it. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to open that list. Press play and hear it for yourself. Stay with me. Because once you hear your own voice in a recording you never meant to make, you will never look at that little speaker the same way again. Welcome to Forbidden Tech. If you're not subscribed yet, hit subscribe and the bell. This is where we open the settings the manufacturers buried and show you what your own devices are really doing behind the light. Let's go back to the beginning. That Echo on your counter cost you what? $30? $50? On a holiday deal? Maybe less. Stop and think about that. A device with far-field microphones, a processor, a speaker, and a permanent connection to one of the largest companies on Earth. Sold for the price of a pizza, sometimes at a loss. No company loses money on hardware out of kindness. When the device is that cheap, the device is not the product. You are. What Amazon actually bought for $30 was a microphone with a clear line into the inside of your home, and you carried it in, plugged it in, and thanked them for the convenience. Here's what most people believe. They believe Alexa only listens after you say the wake word. Alexa, Echo, computer. Say the word, it wakes up, it records the command, and the rest of the time it is asleep. That is not how it works. Researchers at Northeastern University tested this. They put smart speakers in a room, played hours of normal television and conversation, and counted. The speakers woke up by accident, no wake word, nobody talking to them over and over. In some tests, more than a dozen false wake-ups in a single day. A character on TV says a word that rhymes with Alexa. A song has a syllable the algorithm likes. A sentence in the next room sounds close enough. The light comes on. The recording starts. And here's the detail almost nobody knows. The Echo keeps a rolling buffer of audio. When it thinks it heard the wake word, it grabs the couple of seconds before that moment too, so it can understand the command in context, which means the recording does not start when you start talking to it. It starts before. So every single day, without anyone's permission, your Echo is capturing fragments of conversations no one ever meant for it to hear, and sending them away. And here's where it gets worse. This video is just the surface. I've gathered everything the tech industry would rather you never figured out. All of it in the complete Forbidden Tech Vault. The exact privacy settings Amazon, Google, and Apple bury 5 menus deep, with the step-by-step to shut each one off. The hidden recording histories on your phone, your TV, and your speaker, and how to wipe them. The microphone and camera permissions that apps quietly keep long after you stopped using them. The data broker opt-outs that take companies off your trail, the ones they hope you never find. And the 2-minute home audit that tells you exactly which devices in your house are listening right now. More than 10 guides in one place. No fluff. Straight to the point. The link is in the description. But stay here, because the part that made my stomach drop is still coming. In April of 2019, Bloomberg published an investigation that should have ended the conversation. Amazon, it turned out, employs thousands of people around the world whose job is to listen to Alexa recordings. Real humans, in offices in Boston, in Costa Rica, in India, in Romania, listening to clips pulled from people's homes, transcribing them, annotating them. To improve the product, Amazon said. And what did those workers hear? Ordinary life. People talking about money, about their health, children playing, couples arguing. According to the reporting, some workers said they had heard things that sounded like crimes. Amazon's response was a masterclass. They confirmed the program, then called it an extremely small sample and said the workers cannot directly identify the person. What they did not say is that the clips routinely contain names, addresses, and details that line right up with an account. That same year, Amazon admitted to lawmakers that it keeps your recordings and transcripts indefinitely. Not for a month. Not until they're processed. Indefinitely, unless you go in and delete them yourself. And those recordings don't just sit there. They train Amazon's voice models. They feed the profile that decides which products get pushed in front of you. Amazon's advertising business pulls in tens of billions of dollars a year, and the more it learns about the inside of your home, the more precisely it can sell to you. And Amazon isn't the only one interested. Alexa recordings have already been pulled into American criminal trials as evidence, including murder cases. A device you bought to play music has shown up in a courtroom as a witness. And it gets darker. If you've made it this far, you already understand more about that little speaker than 99% of the people who own one. subscribe, and share this with someone who has an Echo in their child's room right now. The next 2 minutes are exactly why that matters. And remember, every setting, every menu, everything they buried is collected in the vault. The link is in the description. Now stay with me, because what the government found about those recordings is the heaviest part of this whole story. In May of 2023, the Federal Trade Commission and the Department of Justice came down on Amazon. The charge: Amazon had kept children's voice recordings, kids under 13, for years. And when parents asked for that data to be deleted, the exact way Amazon told them they could, the company kept it anyway. Amazon paid $25 million to settle. The FTC's own words were that Amazon had sacrificed privacy for profits. Read that again. A federal regulator, on the record, saying one of the most powerful companies on earth chose profit over the recorded voices of children. And a $25 million fine for a company that size is a rounding error, a cost of doing business. So here's the question I could not stop asking. If they will do that with children's voices, what exactly do you think is happening with yours? And in a moment, I'm going to show you how to open the list, press play, and find out. Before I show you how to pull up your own recordings, one thing. Maybe you're thinking, I've got nothing to hide. Let them listen. Stay with me anyway, because this was never about hiding. It's about who gets to decide. And this next part is for you specifically. Whether your Echo is brand new or has been sitting there for 5 years, you don't need a tech background. You don't need to buy anything. You need the phone already in your hand in about 5 minutes. Open the Alexa app, tap the menu, the 3 lines in the corner, go to Settings, then Alexa Privacy, then Review Voice History. Or on a computer, go to the Alexa Privacy page on Amazon's website, sign in, and open Review Voice History. And there it is, a list. Every recording your Echo has made, each one stamped with a date, a time, and a little play button. Set the date range to all history. Then look at how long that list is. For some of you, it will be hundreds. For others, thousands. Now find one labeled audio was not intended for Alexa, or text not available. Amazon marks them that way itself. That label is Amazon telling you, in its own words, we recorded this by accident, we weren't supposed to, but we kept it anyway. Press play. That's your voice. A moment you don't remember. A conversation that was never meant for anyone but the people in the room. And here's the question I want you to sit with. Before you pressed play just now, who else already had? I did this on an ordinary Tuesday. I found 47 recordings from a single week that I never asked for. My wife on the phone, my grandkids playing in the next room, me complaining about my back to absolutely no one, all of it sitting on Amazon servers. All of it something a stranger in another country could have opened before I ever did. And in 2025, Amazon made the one move that tells you everything. There used to be a setting called Do Not Send Voice Recordings. It let you keep the audio on the device instead of shipping it to Amazon's cloud. On the 28th of March, 2025, Amazon removed that option. Gone. Now every command goes to the cloud, whether you want it to or not. The reason they gave was the new artificial intelligence features. Amazon also let slip that fewer than 3 in 10,000 people had ever switched that setting on, which tells you exactly how hard they worked to let you know it existed. So the one switch that actually kept your audio inside your house, they took away. That is the direction this is moving. And it is exactly why the steps I'm about to give you matter more today than they did a year ago. Now I'm going to be straight with you because I won't hand you a fix that isn't real. You can no longer stop an Echo from sending your audio to the cloud. That door's closed. What you can still control is what happens to it once it's there. How long it lives, who gets to listen. And when that microphone is switched on at all. That's what these next steps do. And the one guarantee no software setting can ever take from you is the button on top of the device. Here's how you take back the control that's left. 5 minutes, $0. Step 1. Go back to that voice history and listen to 10 of them. Don't skip this. You need to see with your own eyes what is being captured before any of the rest of this means anything. Step 2. On that same screen, find Delete All Recordings for all history. One button. It wipes every recording off Amazon servers. Do it now. Step 3. Turn on Auto Delete, go to Alexa Privacy, then manage your Alexa data and set your recordings to delete automatically. 3 months is the tightest useful option. Now they stop piling up forever. Step 4. Turn off Human Review. In that same area, look for Help Improve Alexa or Use of Voice Recordings. Switch it off. That pulls your audio out of the pool that human workers listen to. Step 5. Turn off voice purchasing. Go to Settings, then Account Settings, then Voice Purchasing, and switch it off. Now an accidental wake-up can never quietly turn into an accidental order. Step 6, and this is the only one that's physical. There's a button on the top of your Echo that turns the microphone off. Press it, and the ring turns red. When that light is red, the microphone is electrically dead. Use it during anything private. A real conversation, a hard phone call, anything you would not hand to a stranger. Step 7. Open skills and games, then your skills, and remove every skill you don't actually use. Each one is a third party with a door into your voice data. Close the doors you're not using. That's it. 5 minutes. And you've just done more to protect your home than 99% of Echo owners ever will. Now step back and look at what this really is. Hundreds of millions of these devices are in homes right now. If each one wakes up by accident, even a handful of times a day, that is the largest collection of private human conversation ever assembled. Not by a government, not by a spy agency, by a retailer, built from inside your living room. And now all of it is being poured into a new generation of artificial intelligence, the exact reason Amazon gave for forcing your audio to the cloud in the first place. The recordings were valuable before. They're worth far more now. In 22 years in this industry, I never saw anything this invasive sold this cheaply. For $30, Amazon bought a microphone inside your home, and you plugged it in yourself. So here's what I want you to do tonight. Open your voice history. Press play on one recording marked not intended for Alexa. Then come back and tell me in the comments. What did you hear? And how many recordings were on your list? 100? 1,000? Drop the number and drop your state. I want to see how deep this goes. Household by household. Across the whole country. And if you've already wiped yours, tell us. Your push is what gets the next person to finally check theirs. If this opened your eyes, subscribe and share it. Every person who opens that list and presses play takes little power back from the people counting on them never to look. Every share keeps this knowledge from being quietly buried again. Everything they hid, every menu, every switch, every opt-out is collected in the complete Forbidden Tech Vault. The link is in the description. And hit subscribe, because next week I'm going to show you the setting on your phone that lets apps reach the microphone while the screen is off, and the leaked document where a company describes, in its own words, listening for keywords to sell you ads. If you think the Echo was bad, this one rides in your pocket all day. You're not going to want to miss that. The next vault opens soon, and what's inside is even heavier.